Thank you so much for watching the Wise Works podcast or listening to it if you happen to be on Spotify. Just a quick plug to get us started. We come out with 2 podcasts on this YouTube channel each week. And then we have 3 podcasts in total that we do each week because we have an audio only version on Spotify that comes out on Friday nights at 10 p.m. called the Midnight Special. So we call it the Midnight Special because it can last anywhere between an hour and a half to 2 hours. Yeah. So we want it to end right around midnight.
Yes, sir. So if you listened to last week's podcast,
Midnight Special? Which one? Okay.
Well, Midnight Special. We had John, Mark, and Wyatt go forth.
Yeah.
And we had some interesting conversations. So
actually, it won't be last week's. That would have been 2 weeks ago.
I know. I'm trying to
figure it out.
The one
you
that
need to figure out.
Yet.
You need to figure out how we do our upload schedule.
I know it hasn't been recorded yet, but I was trying to sneak in a little preview of what we haven't recorded.
Don't lie to the people. Be authentic. We haven't recorded it yet. We're actually going to record it right after these.
Right after this episode.
Yeah.
But this week we wanted to talk about, for video form, we have a small story time / film that we
past
created,
film experience we're going to meditate on.
Yeah, that's a good word, meditate. I like that. We, back in the day, and still a little bit today.
Yes.
And agree or disagree with me on this. I
disagree hard.
No. Most action films, to me at least.
Yes.
When it comes to like action films and it comes to like agent type things, kind of like John Wick or what's that one with Tom Cruise? John
Carter?
No,
I think
Jack Reacher.
Oh, Jack Reacher.
That's what I'm thinking of.
What's John Carter? Oh, John Carter's that guy on the Mars
Disney
film. Yeah,
different. But there's a lot of action type film
that's just like going around and just.
But the OG, and at least in my opinion, the very OG.
Of course.
Now there's a series that has spawned off of that film.
They're still making them today, man.
The very OG film that has been created that was the very first Mission Impossible film. I mean, before that film, there was nothing like it.
Nothing like it. They had action films, but there was nothing like it.
So.
And that's why they're still going today, and that's why I'm still a fan. I have never been as big of a fan as Mission Impossible as I have for any other series. Like, usually after like 2 movies, I'm not a fan past that.
Yeah.
But even the ones that are being made today, I'm still a hardcore fan of Mission Impossible.
Yeah, but it to me, at least, it is veered off a little bit. I mean, they've made how many now? 8?
No, like 6.
6.
They've made 6, yeah.
Okay.
Maybe the last one was 7.
4, 5, 6. I think it was 7 or 8. Because it's getting up there, man. But they're still making them. Well, to bring it up, the reason why we're bringing this up, as a wee little crouton, when we first got our first Coolpix digital camera.
No, it was the silver one, the silver Sony camera.
The idea spawned off the Coolpix camera.
Yeah, sure.
We had this vast library of music. We had a vast library. 2
Copyright
songs.
Music.
2 songs.
What was it?
We had the song Chariots of Fire.
Yes.
That we would use all the time.
Every beginning filmmaker starts with Chariots.
Chariots of Fire, that running slow motion, letting the fluffy turtle go, which we did. Yep.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yep.
Yes.
Letting fluffy turtle go. And then our second song, can you guess it? Well, we've already talked about it, the Mission Impossible theme song. Yep. So we decided we wanted to make a very not a spoof, but we wanted it to be good.
No, it wasn't going to be a comedy.
No, it was going to be like based off kind of a Mission Impossible themed movie.
Okay.
Say what you're going to say.
I was just going to say the initial idea, which is ironic because in my mind, I was like, I want to do Mission Impossible style. I didn't know the word for it, but I just pretty much want to do a heist film. like a secret agent action heist kind of film, right?
Yeah.
And with the twists and the turns and whatnot, which is funny because I mean, in season 4 of Rick and Morty, they had an episode that was completely making fun of heist stories and films.
Well, we were wee little croutons. How old do you think we were during this time? It was
13.
Right when we get started.
I think I was 13.
13, 12, 11 probably.
I was pretty young.
Yeah.
But this was we were going to call the film Classified.
Well, no, there was a name before it that we...
Do you know it?
I do not remember that name.
Don't expect me to remember it.
No, I don't remember. But I know as a kid, we were all about like, we got to make this good. We got to make this authentic. We got to make this cool.
Mm-hmm.
So we're like, we are going to make it this name. It's like, that's not good enough, man. What can we do? And we couldn't come up with a name.
So we're like, we got it.
We got it. It's going to be a Mission Impossible thing. It's going to be a spy. It's Classified. The name is Classified.
Yes.
And which is very cheesy because we put the name and then we put the words like
the print.
Oh no, we would put Classified and then underneath it would be like the name of this film has been taken out for your safety or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Because it's classified.
The things you remember, dude, memory's weird.
Yeah.
I have such a hard time. I remember some things really well. A big chunk of things. But we were talking about this with our friend Seth, who was on the Midnight Special a few weeks ago. It's just, you guys just have a weird memory where you just remember details about stuff.
Well, I mean, each thing when it comes to a memory gets imprinted on somebody in a different way. They see it from a different perspective.
Yeah.
They see it from their perspective, but also maybe a trauma or something that has imprinted with them.
But how do you remember the little text that was below the classified name? I couldn't have guessed that in a million years.
Well, I don't know. That's just me, certain things like that. It sticks with me. I think it's all that avocado I've been eating.
You've been doing brain food.
Yeah. Avocado and chia seeds.
So I guess the name Classified was kind of like a play on itself a little bit.
Play on itself, but also because we couldn't come up with a name. But we're like, this is cool that we don't have a name, but we do have a name.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Should we talk about the script writing process? Because I'm pretty sure I remember this.
Yeah.
We didn't have one.
Well, we did a little bit.
We had a scene written.
We had a scene.
One scene.
But then we also knew it was going to be more than that. We were going to add a lot more to it.
Mm-hmm.
No, we had more than one scene because remember we went over to Jake Styling, our friends, and had a sleepover and filmed some. Do you remember that?
No.
I remember that. So
did we ever edit that?
Yeah, we did. But let's not get into that yet. Let's talk about the scene that we had, and then we can get into the other part.
My memory of it was we didn't have any more than 2 scenes. I thought it was only 1.
Well, this is what we had. It was just us at first, and we wanted to add some more people in, so we had our friend Jake Styling come in. We were having a sleepover at his house. This was when... Now, our friend Jake, he lived in a couple houses when we were friends with him. This is when he lived in the Fort Mill house.
I remember that house.
Yes. That's kind of where we met him from.
With the brick wall.
The brick wall.
I remember that now.
Yes,
I didn't know that was for Classified.
And then also that same sleepover, we were riding with his mom in their car, and there was a huge crash on the big intersection downtown Rock Hill.
Yeah, like, why do you remember this?
Because it was a big part of our film. So, because there was a huge crash, I don't know why, but they had a helicopter come in and land probably less than 50 feet from where we were. Because they were going to pick up the person and take them to the hospital.
Oh my gosh. How did you remember all of this?
Yeah, because there's a lot to it.
I don't remember any of it.
So, we're like, okay, we got a camera, we got an opportunity, we're going to just shoot the helicopter.
We're going to film the helicopter.
And
oh, yeah.
we're going to put it in our film.
Yeah, the helicopter will be in our film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we had some scenes from a helicopter that came down to a crash, but, we edited out the crash, so it would just seem like, oh no, we're running away from the helicopter type thing.
Yeah. That's you got to be resourceful, man.
Yeah.
You got to piggyback off of reality.
And then also kind of brings in what we talked about a couple weeks ago about the tricking the shot to make it seem like
I mean,
the helicopter's chasing us.
Those were beginning times of us being like, we can edit this together and make it look like the helicopter's chasing our character.
Yeah. So, because we were traveling and there was a huge intersection in Rock Hill that someone had crashed on, and we couldn't get through. It was all blocked up. So we just they decided to park the car, and we were going to go look at this crash that was so big, and a helicopter came, and we definitely took advantage of that.
Wow.
So now that I bring that up, do you remember it?
Yeah. I remember filming, or at least looking at footage that we had filmed of that helicopter. Let's talk about the scene that we did film to completion and actually edit it together.
Yeah.
So one of the guys in Boy Scouts, his name was Matt Wheeler. There was this opening.
Well, no, that wasn't the only scene. We filmed a scene prior to that with me, and it wasn't.
We filmed more of this than I thought.
It wasn't great, and you're like, Josh was not a good actor. You've always said that over the years.
Yeah, you're not.
So you're like, we're gonna cut Joshua out of the film, and we're gonna put our friend Matt Wheeler because it'll be better.
Yeah, and he looks older.
So the first scene we ever filmed, and I think this was before we shot with Jake, and this was with a Purple Coolpix camera.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, what I'm about to say. We went to we wanted a place that was dark, looked dingy, so after hours, somehow we got access to the good old thrift store Tender Hearts. Do you remember this now?
We filmed so much of this.
So much.
That I cannot remember.
Yeah.
Was that really with the Coolpix camera?
Coolpix camera, because this was a big thing. And what it was, if for people who know, Tender Hearts was a thrift store that was kind of in this warehouse.
People don't know. The average person watching this doesn't know.
Well, it was a thrift store that we volunteered at, basically.
Yeah.
And because we volunteered and we knew the person who owned the store, basically, we got access to it after hours, basically. I don't know how, but we just did. Nobody was in the store. Maybe people were. We just kind of shot around them type thing.
We filmed all this stuff for the trailer.
But it was like a complete scene.
Okay.
And because I remember it was so funny because after we went inside filmed, we went outside of the building in the back, started filming. We were all dressed up and people were driving around, people we knew, and they're like, what the heck are they doing?
We had like suit blazers on.
Yeah.
Over like some t-shirts.
Yep. And what the scene was, I basically I walked through the store. It's really dark and you can barely tell.
And you handed me a Wilds DVD.
A Wilds DVD, yep.
By that, it means like the camp that I worked at for a while, we had mentioned on a previous podcast, they would create little highlight video DVDs for campers to buy, and they would put them in this clear plastic. So we needed like, what's like a disc that is clear that we can see the disc through in a case, and we're like, oh, our Wilds DVDs.
Yeah, it was kind of like a pass-off snatch and grab type situation. Yeah. I go and I lean up against the wall, and I have this tape. I kind of just have it under my armpit, and you pull it out. Up. It's a close-up shot of you just like grabbing it.
It was you pulling it out and handing it to me with your little baby chubby hands.
Yeah, and you just kind of like snuck it and grab it.
Yeah, just grab it. Yeah, because it was like the pass-off.
The pass-off type thing.
Had like a friggin' hands out, and we would do like the pass-off.
Mm-hmm.
Under the arm.
Because you got to get that information somehow.
Yeah, and you can't be seen doing it.
Mm-hmm. I think it was just a play because on the original Mission Impossible, they had that DVD tape or whatever it was.
That he was
CD.
making disappear and whatnot. Yeah.
And so we wanted to do something very similar to that. And we had the music
playing. We didn't know any magic tricks.
Yeah, we had the music playing as I'm going through the thrift store. And then we do the pass off and we're like, oh, it's so cool.
I can't believe that.
That was the very first scene we did, and then we got Jake involved, and it became something bigger.
And then we got Matt involved, and we're like, this is going to happen, and then it stopped.
Well, by the time Matt got involved, we had got the new camera. We're like, this is a good idea, but we don't want to we don't have the Coolpix stuff. We just want to start from scratch. We want to make it better. Mm-hmm. So we're just going to scrap the footage we have at the thrift store, and we're going to create a scene with our friend Matt Wheeler. And that was what you guys were involved with. I don't think I was involved in that. So it was you and Tim Gordon.
Yeah.
And so I'll let you talk about that.
So pretty much what we did is, I wish I could have remembered everything about this. Like maybe if we watched it ahead of time, I could remember.
Is there food in there?
No.
Okay. I thought you was getting your food. Sorry.
I wish I could remember what we did, but pretty much what I remember was we were out behind the church we went to back in like this wooded area, and I think it was the opening scene of the film. We were gonna have some secret agent get executed, trying to escape somewhere. So we had these fake guns that we'd pulled an orange plastic tip off of, so that no one knew it was fake, and we just had him holding a big gun, running through the woods, jumping, like shooting around,
scared,
looking scared, looking sweaty, and shooting around, acting like he's being chased by someone we don't see. And he would like jump behind little hills and stuff,
and randomly do flips and stuff because we're like parkour.
Yeah,
thought it was cool.
Parkour. Try to do flip. We did have a flip in there.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's
just
so
running away.
embarrassing.
Normally, someone would not do that. There was no reason to do the flip. You're just like, it'd be cool.
Matt can do a flip.
If he does flip. Yep.
He freaking did a flip, man. Like for no reason.
Yeah. It's cool.
Here's a spot. Flip.
Parkour. We should edit that together now today and just put parkour and it'd be like parkour.
Man. So it was just like probably a minute long sequence or something like that.
Couple minutes.
It wasn't long.
It wasn't long, but it was a little bit, couple minutes, maybe 3.
I don't think it was that long. But pretty much the scene kind of ends with him thinking that there's no one there anymore, that he's made it away. And then he turns around and sees this dude behind him, holds up a pistol, and shoots. And that's where we had Tim come in.
Yep.
Where he put on like these big man boots because he had little boy legs at the time.
He still... No, okay, I won't say that.
Tim has boy legs. But we put on these boots and we just had him put his boot up on like a log. And then we had him wear like this shirt that was kind of floppy. And he just held a gun up into frame. And it would cut to black and you hear a gunshot.
And that was a lot of we just love the cut to black type thing. It's like, did he die? He died, didn't he?
Maybe, probably.
But it cut to black.
Because the other dude also had a gun.
Yeah.
So maybe who shot him? Who shot who? You know. So I cannot believe that you remember all that stuff. Let's talk about the things behind Classified, because although it never got finished, although we just filmed a few things and it was very poorly done, I remember 2 things when I think of Classified.
Yeah.
One, I remember the
Mission
guy...
Impossible theme song.
No.
So, yeah, that's one of them, though.
That's not the thing I remember. I'm talking about what I remember. Besides the little videos we did, the thing that I would think of as far as like theory, what was going through my head throughout the whole process of Classified was Josh Pinnell, the guy that pretty much showed us that we can also do films.
Yeah.
Like it's not something that is super limiting. If you just learn a little bit, you can do it yourself.
Yeah.
He would do like these weird little agent film things. He had one
like
called The Guardian and what?
NC,
but that came later. I remember I felt like I was contending with specifically The Guardian.
Okay.
Because he did something similar, very poorly made, very cheesy. But I remember when I saw it and everyone was like, "This is so cool, Josh." He was a few years older than us. I was like, I could do it better. I was like, I can make something better, I think. I could not at that point. Actually, you know what? The things on a scale of like who edited and put together things better, I think the one scene we filmed with Matt was better quality than most everything Josh Pinnell has done.
Well, but it's not a competition. But nobody was trying to be
professional
at the time.
I'm telling you, in my mind, I was competing with Josh Pinnell.
Okay.
I remember that clearly because it was something I meditated on. I was like, I'm gonna be better than this guy. That's what I was thinking, you know. The other thing was, I knew that this was gonna be a big film. I was like, this is gonna be what launches me into doing this on a professional level. This project.
The idea
of this project was like, and this was after Fight the Good Fight and stuff.
Yeah.
This is what launched me into being like, I can do this on a professional level. And I'm going to make this awesome. I'm writing a script. I'm not just coming up with it and filming something like in my head. I'm writing a script. We're going to film these scenes on different days. We're going to do this whole production thing. And it didn't ever happen. But that was, I remember Classified, if it wasn't the project, it was definitely a very kind of crossroads where I decided I think filmmaking is kind of something I could potentially be into as a career, you know? And it was that project that I was like, I'm going to attempt to do this professionally as much as I can, you know? When you're that young and you have zero knowledge about the field, you're like, even the idea of writing a script, you are nervous because you're like, I don't know how to write a script. I don't know how to do any of this. But I'm going to try to do it. I'm going to see how it goes, you know? And so those were two big things that was going through my mind throughout the process of Classified, which never got finished.
Yeah.
Or edited together.
You know what we should do?
Yeah.
We don't have the first clips, but we should end the podcast just not reacting to it, but just leave that clip with Matt Wheeler at the end.
Do you have it?
If I can find it, we're gonna put it there.
But if you're saying we're gonna put it there, they're gonna get to the end of the podcast and they're gonna be like, I guess they couldn't find it. It's not here. You know what I mean? It'll be disappointing.
Okay. It's not gonna be there.
It won't be there. Don't get your hopes up. So, but what was going through your head during the process of filming Classified, or the concepts or the ideas, you know, outside of just like the actual filming of it? What was going through your head?
Well, not a lot, because I really wanted to make a good spy, just mission movie.
Yeah.
We were really into action. Back then, that's all we did. We didn't do anything but action. So it was definitely going to be an action kind of spy thing. Who knows what?
You have to be able to access what you were thinking.
I
like,
don't.
what was your motivation? Why were you willing to work on it?
To make a good film. I mean, that's all that I want to do back then. Just have fun while we do it.
So you were looking for just a good time.
Yeah.
Was it me or you, or who was the person that kind of started the process?
Probably it had to have been you or whoever downloaded the Mission Impossible theme song. It wasn't me. Maybe it was our sister and you just kind of took it.
Maybe. I think maybe she got it off, like ripped it off YouTube or something. And I was just listening to it and I was like, I can do this. And I just like started playing scenes in my head. I just started like thinking up, not even like a story, just like what certain scenes can be. Like, oh yeah, he could raise the gun, it can cut to black when we hear a gunshot, that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Well, that stuff didn't come till later. The Matt scene didn't come till later. It was more of,
no, I'm just saying,
at the beginning.
It's not about what came first. It's what I was thinking, listening to the Mission Impossible music. What was going through my head. It's ideas like that are just like small ideas and then become like a scene. The trick is turning like a scene into a story with actual character development. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And actual characters that people are interested in watching.
Yeah.
That's the tricky part with filmmaking and story writing, I think, is not just making cool scenes, but making actually cool character development. John Wick, his character...
I've only seen the first one.
Okay, so have I. But you only have to see the first one to understand.
I think we probably watched it together.
I don't think so. I think I watched it by myself.
No, I think we watched it together.
Maybe we did. I don't remember. I just know his character's super simple. and the character development is very simple, but it's strong enough with the emotion and like understanding this guy's background, understanding he just wants to be left alone and live a life, and then it keeps being disrupted, and have a dog, and it keeps getting disrupted by these people from his past, you know, and it really pisses him off, and he just goes in, you know. And
they've created 3 films so far about it.
Yeah,
man,
I haven't seen 2 or 3 yet, but that's like it's rare to see a film like John Wick become so popular.
Yeah,
because it's truly just action, and the character development is kind of low. From at least what I watched of the first one, or what I can remember. So, I mean, that's
a lot of planes today.
There was a lot of planes last week.
Yeah.
Oh man, last week's podcasts were a mess. We acknowledged it, but yeah. What time are we at? We're about
25, 26. Yeah.
We're gonna wrap this one up.
Yeah.
But let us know in the comments what you think about maybe if you are into filmmaking or you've ever thought about it. Let us know, like, what were some of your initial thoughts when you thought about doing a project, especially when you were younger and you didn't know anything about it.
Or like a spy movie.
Yeah, like a spy movie. That would be cool.
Yeah.
Tell us about it. We'd like to hear. Go ahead and plug stuff.
We kind of talked about it at the beginning, but we do have a Spotify. So we have these episodes that are video form, goes on Spotify every week, but we also have one episode that's an hour and a half long to 2 hours. That's called the Midnight Special. Most of the time we have good guests on there.
Speaking of spy music, man, we should, if we lived in this area, or spy films, if we lived in this area, we could get all kinds of footage of these airplanes.
We could. But back to what I was saying, because you interrupted me. We have a Midnight Special, had some good guests on it. Our friends, the Go Force. Seth was on a couple weeks ago, so that was a good episode. You should go check that out.
Yeah.
And then, is there anything else I should plug? That's it.
No, just subscribe on YouTube, follow us on Spotify, keep up with us. Just keep an eye. We come out with videos on Tuesdays and Fridays around noon, and then we come out with the Midnight Special at 10 p.m. on Friday nights. So just keep an eye out at those times. That's the best way you can support us right now for all this free content we are providing you.
Yes.
We hope you enjoyed it. We thank you for watching.
And have a good night. Or day. Or
you're
morning,
already thinking about the Midnight Special.
Yep.
All right.